Some years ago, Greg and I traveled to Ivalo, Finland, which is way up in the Arctic Circle. It was summertime. The landscape, all Arctic tundra and shrub. It was unlike anything I had ever seen before. And of course, the days were so long, with the night being just a few hours. We stayed at a place in its low season. It was designed to be a Christmas village where people came for reindeer-drawn sled rides and for their famous sleep under the stars rooms, which were sort of glass domes with a bed underneath them, where you could watch the tremendous night sky and the eerie and beautiful northern lights. We didn't see any of that part. We did enjoy ourselves tremendously walking through those beautiful landscapes. But behind the front desk was a woman who had been raised in Kerala, India. Now, I just assumed she was there as summer staff, but she corrected us. She had been there 4 years already. She had come for the Northern Lights, but fell in love with all of it. Joy in the dark. On a podcast this week, I heard the poet Naomi Shihab Nye tell a story about an airport encounter. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't usually think of an airport as a place of joy. Her flight was delayed, and then she heard an announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate A4 understands Arabic, please come to the gate immediately. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian embroidered dress, just like Naomi's grandmother, was crumpled on the floor and wailing. "Help," the flight agent said. "Talk to her. What is her problem?" So we told her that we tried to tell her that the flight was going to be delayed, and then she fell onto the floor and started crying. So Naomi, who knew a little Arabic, stooped to be next to the woman and put her arm around her and spoke haltingly in Arabic. Now, the minute this woman heard any word she knew, no matter how poorly used, she stopped crying and then explained that she thought the flight had been canceled entirely. She needed to be in El Paso for a major medical treatment the next day. Naomi explained, "No, we're fine. You're going to get there. We're just going to be a little later. Who's picking you up? Let's call." So Naomi goes on to write, "We called her son. I spoke with him in English, told him I would stay with his mother until she got on the plane and that she would be there before the treatment. And then we called her other sons just for the fun of it. And then we called my dad, and he and she spoke for a while in Arabic and found out that, of course, they had 10 shared friends. Thereafter, Naomi, on a whim, called some Palestinian poets she knew as well and had them talk to the woman also. The woman by then was full of joy, telling stories about her life and patting Naomi on the knee, and then she pulled out a big package of homemade mamul cookies, little powdered, sugary, crumbly cookies that are filled with dates and nuts. They were meant for her son who was picking her up, but she shared them with all the women at the gate. And to her amazement, not a single one declined them. Naomi writes, "It was like a sacrament." The traveler from Argentina, the mom from California, the woman from Laredo, they were all covered with powdered sugar and smiling. Naomi Nye concludes, "I looked around that gate of late and the weary ones in it, and I thought, this is the world I want to live in. The shared world. Not a single person in that gate, once the crying and confusion had stopped, seemed apprehensive about this person. They all took the cookies, and I wanted to hug them all those women. This can still happen. Not everything is lost." Joy in the dark. Susan Walters and I had a chance to meet with Jack Lichten, who works at Asian Rural Institute, a program that trains people from around the globe in leadership and community development and sustainable farming. Students come from Pakistan, India, Malawi, Indonesia, Liberia, Uganda, Nepal, Sierra Leone, Myanmar, from around the globe, communities that are poor, devastated by climate change, under unstable and despotic leadership, places of violence and desperation. The students come and learn together how to farm sustainably and how to develop their communities into places of mutual support. Jack made a passing comment that has stuck with me ever since. He said it always amazes him that people from such poor and struggling communities simply go about the business of making their lives and their communities better. They just put their heads down and do that work. Joy in the dark. Mary, pregnant in a way that was frowned upon, but filled with the message that this child could change the world. And so she sings words that are at the heart of all of us when the true Christ comes indwelling. My soul magnifies my Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior. His mercy is upon those who fear him throughout all generations. He has shown strength with his arm. He has scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. He has put down the mighty from their high seats and exalted the humble and the meek. He hath filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich empty away. Joy in the dark. Last night, many of us had the chance to listen to a remarkable concert lovingly created by Rachel Barter as an offering to this community. It's been a hard week for us here, with the death of two such luminous souls as King and Jill. I feel it too. Amidst the hassle and frazzle that Christmas preparations always are at home, so much to accomplish, and the preparations here at church for extra worship services that I need as badly as you do. I had walked to the concert to avoid the parking challenges, and when the concert was over and everyone was out of the building, I shut down the darkened space and walked down South Main Street and School Street, and then across the field behind Consolidated School in the bright spruce light of the full moon, with the misty slate streaks of the tree shadows. It was beautiful. Beauty is God's most perennial form of revelation. My heart was full of joy. Even more to remember Greg's words, my husband, when I left. I said I'd call if I needed a ride home and he could pick me up even if he was in his jammies, and he said, "You can sleep in Renee's office." Yeah. He keeps me laughing too, and he knows I am an intrepid walker, so my heart was glad that he thought to leave on the back porch light. So I was guided home by that light across the field. This morning early as I walked the dogs, that same silvery moon on one side of the sky and the pink and golden tones of light dawning. Beauty. God is with us. God has always been with us. He shall come again when morning dawns in light and beauty. Joy in the dark.